Happy Halloween, everyone. To close out October and welcome in the true winter weather, it's probably fitting to examine John Carpenter's The Thing. Today the film is given all kinds of praise as one of the best adaptations, one of the best horror movies, and one of the best remakes. But at the time, 35 years ago, everyone hated it. It did really poorly critically. It was hated by fans of the original and the director, and it was even nominated the Razzie Award for Worst Soundtrack. The last one I find bizarre because it was composed by Ennio Morricone, one of the giants. This was most certainly a result of the timing. The Thing, a dark, nightmarish take on extraterrestrial encounters, came out around the same time as Spielberg's E.T., which was, how to put it best, a nicer, wholesome sort of tale. So you can imagine what audiences and critics gravitated towards. A similar thing happened with Wes Craven's New Nightmare. Whilst it got a positive reaction, barely anyone saw it because it came out just as Pulp Fiction was exploding onto the cinema screens. That's a video for another time though. But everything passes, and this is no exception. After the backlash, after the derision, the film was released on video, on Laserdisc and DVD and Blu-ray, and it found its audience, and the once unloved exercise in terror from John Carpenter has now been assimilated into many best-of lists. My thoughts on the original are a little bit controversial. Apologies. I appreciate it as a B-movie with the sensibilities that come with those, but it's lacking in the scare factor, the haunting despair, and uncomfortably masculine environment, which I'll return to. It's an okay film, but let's be honest, most people remember the last lines than they do the Karloff-esque monster. But what of the film? What do we, the fans, know? What do I see in it? Well, like I said, it's a very nasty look at the unknown. Beginning the film with the creature landing or crashing on Earth, whether intentional or not, we'll never know. So by the time Kurt Russell and the crew of Outpost 31, come into the story, the Thing has already escaped. This narrative, this journey, has begun somewhere, as a result of sheer stupidity, but the less said about that drivel the better. And the unfortunate producer man tries to warn them against taking the dog in. Regrettably, he doesn't speak their language, so he gets a bullet to the eye. Already it's a very notable beginning. The isolation, apparent lack of other humans, and then the bit where they discover what remains of the Norwegian camp, which raises more questions than it answers. Once again, I'm not talking about that infuriating lowest common denominator prequel. And that's what makes the Thing work. In this film, there are more questions than answers. Who's your friend and who's the creature wearing their face? Is Keith David human, or is he the last form of the Thing? The ambiguities in John Carpenter's The Thing leave you with such an unease because as much as they'll never know the whole story, neither will we. The elephant in the room, of course, are the practical effects. I had to talk about them. So, everyone says they're amazing. They are. Not scary, but pretty disgusting and uncomfortable to look at. Rob Bottin, or Bottin, however his name is pronounced, he deserves all the praise he gets for his contributions, as a pity he's no longer working in the movie industry. Not much to say in that regard, but what I could say has already been said, that's all. The Thing has so much going for it that you wonder what lets it down. Honestly, the bit I have issue with is the final form, the final fight. It's a bit of a letdown. No, actually, scratch that. It is a letdown. I'm well aware they ran out of time and they wanted it to go on longer, but it's the textbook definition of an anticlimax. Even if Kurt Russell gives the best possible response to the snarling and wailing creature. Yes, it leads to one of the best endings to a scary movie, but I still wish the cut to it had been a greater scene. I've not talked much about the acting, but everyone is great. Kurt is a superb leading man and Keith is equally endearing. You never guess he was a newcomer. They all work well, and I'd say that's not only down to the capabilities of the actors, but the solid directing from John Carpenter. A filmmaker I much admire, and I can say without hesitation that I am a fan of his work. The Thing deals with a lot of very interesting themes: humanity, nihilism, paranoia and xenophobia, and this is all heightened by the largely masculine environment. The only females in the film are the computer voice, Adriana Barbeau, Carpenter's then wife, and the contestants on a pre-recorded game show. It's like the facehugger chestburster metaphor times 12. You could say that I've been reading too deeply into it, but I doubt I'm the only one. These all come with watching a film more than once, and the thing is deserving of repeat viewings. You garner more respect for Carpenter's vision, the effects, the story, the acting, and that's wonderful. A lot of people laugh at the tie to this fucking couch moment, and rightly so, but I feel Wilfred Brimley's "I wanna go back inside" moment even funnier. These are small moments of levity, but they're necessary. I love Ennio Morricone's score to The Thing. It's very rare for John Carpenter not to compose the music for his own films. It's an amazing thing that you managed to get such a respected veteran composer like Morricone to do the film. And he even stays within Carpenter's style with the title theme and some music cues. Not all of his music was used in The Thing, and Quentin Tarantino wisely chose to include them in his film The Hateful Eight, which also starred Kurt Russell. I'd intended to go on a lot longer in this review, but because of time and all sorts of things, I'm going to have to cut it short right now. But the last thing I want to comment on is that the poster for The Thing is a wonderful, wonderful work of art by Drew Struzan. And even though no creature shines out of their face or wherever in the film, it's still iconic and beautiful. I love to frame it on my wall. Basically, The Thing is an experience and a great horror film, and if you haven't seen it, then you really, really should. It's essential. And 35 years on, it still holds up. Have a very happy and hopefully safe Halloween from me, and I'll see you all next time.